stopping by the channel. My name's Leah, and let's recap and review the season finale of Real Housewives of New Jersey. This is season 12, episode 13. Let's get into y'all. So the episode opens up where it left off, where everybody's doing what they did the previous episode, where we're rehashing the big blow up or the beef that's between Margaret and Teresa. At this point, I'm over it. I'm definitely over it. I feel like Margaret and Teresa aren't a good feud to keep a season going because, like I guess I would say for me, because I think both of them are assholes and both of them they're both jerks. Like Margaret is mad at Teresa for her behavior and her way that she has treated Margaret, but you could say the same thing about the way Margaret treated Danielle and how she terrorized her. So it's kind of like, girl, it might be karma, or genuinely it just might be, it is what it is. Like you're two sides of the same coin in the sense of the way y'all have treated people. So like I said, it's the night before. They end up having another intervention meeting about Teresa that Margaret keeps doing. And here's my thing. I'm with Margaret. If I don't like somebody or I don't like the way someone has behaved, I'm not going to coddle them. I'm not going to placate them. I'm going to treat you the way I feel like you should be treated. And if that means I disrespect you, I'm passive aggressive, or I'm all right just petty and rude, I'm going to do that because that's my prerogative. That's my prerogative. So I'm just like, I guess for me, it's just annoying that Margaret keeps pulling in everybody to like want to chastise Teresa when you see everyone is okay with the way Teresa acts. Margaret's saying like she didn't like that no one stuck up for her. She also didn't like the fact that no one checked Teresa for body shaming her or fat shaming her. When I'm like, that's when I call BS on Margaret, because y'all talked about Jennifer's nose. Y'all blatantly talked about Danielle Staub's vagina. So it's like, y'all have constantly body shamed people. Even Jackie, who we know has a clear eating disorder and has very like warped views about her body, has talked negatively about others' body. So it's like, y'all can't be that mad at Teresa for fat shaming or body shaming when as a whole, y'all all have done it. So, and that's the thing about Margaret. I like I said, I don't hate anybody on this cast. I like, my fave is Jennifer, but as a whole, I'm cool with everybody. I think that's why I'm able to counter like the hypocrisy in everyone, because don't get me wrong, Teresa's actions were wrong. They were genuinely wrong. Like she said when she was talking on the phone, because we end up seeing a scene where she FaceTimes Joe and Melissa, and she's like, I'm 49 years old. You're not going to force me to do nothing. You're 49 years old. True enough. And no one can force you to do anything, but yet you parade and act like a 10-year-old. I'll give 10-year-old more credit than a 6-year-old, where like, if you don't have the words for it, Teresa, you lash out. I mean, we actually got to see her effectively say what I've been saying in all my reviews. So I'm kind of like, okay, I peep what was going on. But ma'am, 49 and you act like a child. That's not a clap or a pat on the back. And the same way with Margaret is like, y'all be giving her credit for participation. And that's true. They do. But I'm like, if everyone's okay with it, then let them be okay with it. I don't like this whole energy that Margaret is giving where it's like, we as a group need to check her. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. They don't want to check her, but you want them to check her. And I just feel like at this point, it is what it is and what it's going to be. And you should move accordingly and just let it go. So they decide to do, I think it was called like that cycle that you see like in very, like touristy towns where it's like a bike for like 12 or 15 people and you just pedal and you can get drinks. And I guess the way it's set up is that like every time they stop at a stop sign and they have to wait, or every time they see a red light, they stop and they drink. So they're all drinking, having a good time. It's weird because Teresa and Louis never came back to the house. So they just have been at the hotel and, and Margaret is like, I don't want to be near her, which to her credit, that is her right. I also kind of was getting annoyed with Jennifer, but I understand what Jennifer was doing. Jennifer kept saying, well, can't you see that like you've been pushing her, which to me Margaret has. It's like the lady already told you one time, let it go. Stop talking about my man, leave it alone. But you constantly bring it up. Now, does that mean Teresa should have acted or reacted in the way that she did? No, she shouldn't have. Like she said, I'm 49. You 49? Well, act like you're 49. Act like you're an adult. Like that energy that you gave to Margaret, you shouldn't have given her. You shouldn't have. Like, or if you wanted to give her that, there was no need for you to basically throw food on her or drinks on her. Like, you should have been able to cuss her out and keep it pushing. And you couldn't do that. So Margaret is justified in her feelings, but I also feel like Margaret is a hypocrite because, like I've said in other videos, the behavior that you're mad about with Teresa, you have exhibited for like 2 seasons. You are horrible to Danielle. And I don't even like Danielle, but you were horrible to Danielle. And even at the end of the episode when Margaret was like, I was right about Ziggy, I was right about Danielle. Yeah, you were right about them, but 2 things can be true and they were right about you. So y'all saw each other. Like we see each other. Y'all saw each other. It's just that you were able to stay longer. So they do a little bike ride. Everyone's having a good time. Melissa is faded. And it was cute. Jennifer was having fun. Melissa was having fun. Everyone was having a good time. They end up going to this restaurant that is known for like its spicy chicken. And Joe wanted to make it a competition where the guys all eat the chicken. Mind you, what Alabaster, shout out to Nikki Star TV, what Alabaster people think is spicy is not spicy to minorities. It's not. I remember reading an article where they just put a Popeyes, and I had Popeyes the night before. They put a Popeyes in the UK, and all the people were saying how spicy the food is, and I was like, it's not. Even a spicy chicken sandwich isn't like burn your lips or burn the sides of your mouth hot. It's just spicy. And so they decide to go up against Bill, which they've seen Bill put just wasabi on sushi with like no soy sauce or anything and eat it. So I don't even know why they thought they could best Bill at eating this spicy chicken. But all of them do it. Louis spit out the food, spit out the chicken. Frank got completely red, even redder than what he is, like this color right here. And tears were watering. You got Evan. Evan was like, I ain't stupid. I'm good. Joe Beligno. Joe was like, I'm not dumb either. And I don't blame them. Like, bro. So it's just Bill and Joe going at it. And I thought it was cute to see Jennifer hyping up her man. Was like, keep going, baby. Keep going. And it was cute watching Melissa feed Bill a little bit of milk. Because if you didn't know, milk is milk. I always used to think it was weird when I would see people do hot challenges and they would drink milk. But I guess the enzymes in milk stops the tingling or the burning sensation in your mouth. So that's why you see people drinking milk when they're eating hot stuff. So she's feeding Melissa's giving Joe a little bit of milk while he's doing it. It was cute. I thought the scene was fun. I was like, see, this is the energy I like to see from y'all. Y'all can fight, but but it's fun to see everybody getting along. They end up tying, but you could clearly see that Joe Gorga was struggling. He started drooling. That's how hot his mouth was burning. And Bill was you could tell Bill was getting red, but he wasn't in that much pain compared to the other guys. So while they're at this restaurant, drunk Melissa, it was kind of egging on Teresa to go talk to Margaret. And then Margaret is also having side conversations at the table with Tracy and Jackie. Mind you, y'all, they played in Tracy's face. When I tell you they completely got rid of Tracy. And you know what? I don't even think it was because Tracy was constantly going at Teresa. I think Tracy could not keep her position or was not able to keep her position because of Tiki. No. So I'm editing the video and I realized I didn't explain why I think Tracy got demoted because of her husband, Tiki. And I think it's because Tiki could not partake in group events. We see the men or the Hasbros are actually a big part of Real Housewives of New Jersey. And I think because he only showed up to a few events but couldn't do solo events with the guys, even in Nashville, we hardly saw them. saw him with the guys until they all went to dinner because he was working. I think that's what got her demoted. Like, no lie, I really think that's the reason why. Because there's been so many times, like even the last two episodes, when they were at the recording studios, Tracy was talking or was mouthing something, like having a full-on conversation, and they muted it. Like someone popped the clip on Twitter, and I didn't notice it, and then I went back and looked at the episode, and I was like, oh my god, they did do that to her. Like she was full on having a discussion with someone or a conversation, and they muted it. And then even in this scene, she was talking, but they didn't have the camera on her, they had it on Jackie. And then at the end of the episode, she was like toasting with everybody, and they just showed her arm toasting, but then you hear her voice, and I was like, y'all played her, y'all really played her. And I think it kind of it's well, it's not even messed up. The only draw to Tracy is her husband, and that's because Tiki is an NFL, like a retired NFL player, and the scandalous past they had. Other than that, I don't even think Tracy would have ever been considered of being on this cast, because I was just like, they kept like wanting to fade her in and out, and she had a lot more to say. And I was just like, y'all are horrible. Like, I think the only reason we got to see her talk at the end of the episode is because she was sitting, like, it was Jackie, Dolores, Tracy, and Melissa. I think if she was not sandwiched in between those three ladies, because when she gave the toast at the end, she was sitting at the end of the couch where they were sitting at the restaurant at the end, and she was nowhere. Like, you could just see her arm doing the toast. I was like, y'all play too much. Y'all play too much. So then they're still at the restaurant. They're having a good time. And like I was saying, Melissa was like egging on Teresa in the sense to have this conversation. But I don't think Teresa nor Joe thought that Teresa was going to get up. Well, Melissa, I don't think Melissa or Joe thought that Teresa was going to get up and go try to have a conversation with Margaret while they're at this restaurant that is fully packed and is so much going on. So she sits down, and Margaret, you can tell, doesn't want to have the conversation, which I understand. It's like, girl, we at a restaurant. This is a private conversation we need to have where there's not a bunch of glass and other people talking around us. And so Teresa's like, what you're doing really hurt me, and like, I thought we were friends. And they flash back to when Margaret first came on the scene, and this was after Teresa's mom passed away, and when she gave her the wreath and they, sailed it out to sea. And Margaret was like, yeah, but like, it wasn't a conversation that needed to be had. And I get Jennifer kept chiming in. She was like, well, you can see she's trying. And I think that's the thing. I think Jennifer just wants everybody at this point to get along. But she also knows that these women aren't really her friends like that. So she knows her biggest ally in the group is Teresa. So she's trying to like still hitch her anchor to Teresa. And y'all know I got love for Miss Jennifer. But like, it was annoying to constantly hear her try to interpret Teresa. And like someone said on Twitter, it's crazy how Dolores used to be Teresa's interpreter and now it's switched to Jennifer, which is true because Dolores is starting to take a more neutral role in the group. Because I think Dolores has wised up and understands that like, you can't just be on an island with Teresa, because Teresa's going to always have a spot, but you may not always have a spot. So you might as well start to form relationships with the other ladies. So the conversation didn't happen. Teresa ends up getting up and like, everyone's like, you need to sit down. Margaret is like kind of like uncomfortable, but so is Teresa. And Teresa is like full of you can tell, like, I think Teresa does want to like Margaret, and I think Margaret wants to like Teresa, but it seems like there's so much water underneath the bridge that even at like, they posted pictures of the reunion. I guess they gonna really be beefing at the reunion because it was a picture that they took, and you can see it's a clear shift in the middle where it's like, these three are on here, these three are on here, where like they didn't even want to touch arms to do like a group photo. And I was just like, yeah, the division is real with y'all. The division is real with y'all. So they leave the restaurant and everyone's getting ready because it's the last night of them being in Tennessee and they're going to dinner. So it was cute. They went, they had a good time. I know everyone keeps saying, like, do you think the show can exist without Teresa? And I kind of do. And like I said, I kind of do, because this scene was cute. Everyone was having a good time. There wasn't a lot of drama, but then it's like you kind of need Teresa, because we're not watching y'all to be friends. Like, yeah, we want y'all to be cool and create and form relationships, and we want to watch that, but like y'all got to throw some spice in there, and no one's trying to be spicy, because Dolores is cool. Dolores, Margaret, Jennifer, no, not even Jennifer. Dolores, Margaret, Melissa, and Jackie and Tracy are like, they're together. They're together. And Jennifer's like kind of there, but like no one wants to rock the boat because they're all friends. So it's not going to be fun. So they all are at the restaurant. It's like this really cool rooftop bar. I actually like that the bar was in an old like mobile home, like one of the aluminum looking ones, and the guys making drinks. They had chicken and waffle lollipops. Those look good. And it was an actual, like, I guess a straight up like chicken tender, and they battered it in waffle mix, and it looked delicious. So they're all eating, they're having a good time. And everyone's asking Margaret, like, how does she feel about Teresa? And Margaret's like, I don't know. I thought we were friends. She even said that, like, we were going to work better ever since after the hair pulling. And this is my thing when it comes to the hair pulling. You deserve that. You poured a whole bottle of water on that lady. You lucky she didn't, like, caca you in the neck. And when I mean like, caca, like, you know, like popped you real quick. Like the fact that she just yanked your ponytail, that you at least deserve that, because there was no reason why you should have poured that drink on her head because she was making fun of your titties. If you're saying that Teresa needs to be an adult, then you could have been an adult in that situation and not like, why can't... Oh, that's something else, y'all. I'm sorry. I was like, I see it. So there was no reason for her. Like, I was just like, Margaret, you deserve that hair pull. Like you did. And I hate saying someone deserves like violence, but call a spade a spade. It was violent for you to throw a drink on that lady so she hit you back with the same energy. You know? So Jackie annoyed me this episode, because Jackie was constantly saying like, Teresa causes me to like feel some type of way and to sink into myself. Okay, then man up, ma'am. Like, why are you allowing this lady to to get you? And I was kind of happy when they were having that intervention in the beginning of the episode where she was like, basically Jackie doesn't like Teresa, but Jackie is afraid of Teresa, because I really do feel like them Evan rumors might have some slight truth to them. But Jackie is like, I don't want to rock the boat with her because she could like ruin my family. And I was happy Melissa was like, she can't ruin something that's already good, which is true. So that makes it seem like those rumors about Evan were true. And Jackie Jackie only chimes in, and it's aggravating, because I feel like she could be more, but she's not, because she's quick to just be like a side chick, or not a side chick, a sidekick to Margaret. She's always, as much as they like to say that Jennifer is a puppet of Teresa, Jackie is a puppet of Margaret. Like, we just gonna call a thing a thing. So Teresa and Louis finally get to the restaurant, the rooftop restaurant, and there's a nice scene where Louis asks Joe for Teresa's hand in marriage, because you know their father's not there. He's trying to be respectful. They ask him about the allegations, and he basically, I didn't like his response where he was like, thirsty low lives exes. And this is my thing. The women could be thirsty. They could be thirsty, and they could be low lives, and they could be all of that. But the truth of the matter is, if you did do those things that they're accusing you of, you in fact are the same thing. So I get where he's coming from, where he's like, they're just saying all, because it does lend to the credence of like, why are y'all saying this stuff now that I'm on TV and I'm with this person that I seem to love or I want to be with? But the truth of the matter is, if you did do those things that they're accusing you of, they have every right to constantly bring it up and talk about it, because they were victims of things that you've done to them. So I'm not going to fault the women for doing it. And like Jackie says, like, I don't like he calls the exes thirsty. When in of it, in the fact is like, everyone's thirsty, even you, because you're on TV. So Joe said it's cool that they can have, like, you know, his hand in marriage and blah, blah, blah. They end up actually getting married. So then we have a sit down, and this is like the last scene of the night. between Margaret and Teresa. And when I said like it confirmed my thoughts like earlier on in the video, Teresa basically told Margaret that, look, I finally meet somebody that I like, that I'm in love with, and then all of this stuff is coming out. And she legitimately is like crying. Like she starts crying. And then Margaret is like, well, like, Teresa, I came from a point of concern. And Teresa's like, I don't think you were concerned. I just think you wanted to hurt me. And then Margaret even says, she was like I told you, I wanted you to get ahead of everything because that's what I'm about. When we first met, I told you I cheated on my husband. I married my lover that I cheated on my husband with. I have a bad relationship with my kids. I'm the type of person, I like to get ahead of things. And I was just kind of like, that's true. But I also do agree with Teresa where I'm like, it didn't seem like it was a place of concern because the lady told you more than a few times, leave it alone. But it's out there like Margaret said, so I'm going to talk about it. So she has a right to talk about it. Then they kind of keep arguing. And then at this point, Margaret gets upset because she feels like Teresa's not hearing her. And she's like, I've always defended you. I've always been there for you. And I'm like, no, you really haven't, Margaret. You really haven't. But okay, ma'am, go off. And she gets up and she leaves. I ain't gonna lie, I cackled when Louis walked over there and said, good night. I was like, he trashed for that. But I was like, that was a perfect way to be like, we're done with you. Good night. So Louis starts getting frustrated because he's like, I'm tired of everyone bringing up my stuff. And then everyone tries to say that like that was a way of like he's showing his true colors. And I don't think that's showing his true colors. I think that's him showing the side of himself. Maybe he is great to Teresa, but I also think that the man has constantly heard y'all talk negatively about him. If he decides to have a moment where he flips, he's allowed to do that. I'm not going to fault him for that. Like, y'all constantly saying negative things about him. He's allowed to be uncomfortable and he's allowed to be frustrated and be like, deuces to y'all. And I don't want to deal with y'all anymore and move on. Maybe he said worse things than the whole comment of like, let's go to our 55,000 square foot mansion. Because everybody was like, whoa. And I was like, that's not really a read. It's not a read to me. So I'm just kind of like, did he say something else negative? Because Evan was like, whoa. And I'm just like, did he say something else? Because that wasn't negative to me. I mean, that was like, unless y'all feel some type of way that y'all live in small houses compared to them. Like, legit, like, who knows? So I was like, oh, okay. So it ends there with Teresa and them leaving. And Teresa saying she gonna defend her relationship. The truth of the matter is, like I've been saying since the beginning, Teresa has never felt someone really care and take care of her. And she feels that with Louis. And she doesn't want to lose that. So she's going to defend it and fight for it tooth and nail, even though there have been many red flags about this man. But she don't care. She in love and she want to be in love. It is what it is at this point. Like, hopefully he don't do nothing egregious to her, but like I said, it is what it is. So we end the episode. They end with Teresa and Louis went on the vacation to Greece. He asked her to marry, Louis asked her to marry him, and she said yes. I will say I didn't like what he said to Joe when he was like, I need your sister. Like, he's like, I don't want to sound controlling, but I need your sister. I would never want to marry somebody who wants me, who needs me. You would rather someone to want to be with you. That's the difference between a want and a need. It's better to want food than need food. It's better to want money than need money. It's better to want clothes than need clothes. So it's kind of like, that is a red flag in and of itself. But she's engaged to the man. Margaret is, she started a new alcohol-free beverage. She decided to do more, I guess, popping bottles. So like, instead of bubbling bottles, I don't know what that means. Oh, you know, the pop, that's what that means. Melissa hasn't missed any football games since Antonia returned to cheering for varsity, so she's good. She says she's much happier shouting from the sidelines, and she's glad to, be with her friends. Dolores moved back in with Frank and the kids. She got a new man, and supposedly she started more new renovations. Jennifer and Bill are still working on making their marriage better. Bill is working on his communication, and Jennifer is working on less retaliation. Then we got the last one, Jackie. Jackie is progressing with her eating disorder, which is great for her. Her and Evan are working on their relationship, and she feels happy and she feels supported. So that's the end of this series, y'all, or this season. It was alright. It was alright. I did see the trailer for the reunion. The reunion looks decent. It looks pretty decent. It's gonna be the same old, but I think it looks pretty good. And yeah, so that is it. That is all. Remember to be bravely authentic. Drop down in the comments below and let me know your thoughts. And I'm out, y'all. Deuces.